welcome to SVG-TV News for Wednesday, November 16th, 2020. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves is appealing to residents of SVG to be on the lookout for persons who are seeking to enter the country illegally from neighboring countries, especially those which are battling an increase in COVID-19 cases. On his weekly program on NBC Radio today, the Prime Minister said it is not only an issue of breaking the country's immigration laws or border security, but an issue of safety and health which should not be compromised. He made a reference to an incident in Fancy where he said a resident gave support to someone who came in from neighboring St. Lucia. Dr. Gonsalves said persons have to be more responsible, especially in these times. Speaking on the movement of people in the Grenadines, particularly on Mustique, which is a bubble, Prime Minister Gonsalves said all the necessary precautions must be taken, including the proper testing of persons when they enter the island.
Because people are coming in to enjoy their homes, and particular time like this, Christmas coming up, there's going to be a wedding there. There is the workers interact, the workers themselves have all got to be tested too. And the movement of the workers have to be controlled and monitored. Because we never locked down, but we have to put appropriate restrictions in place. And again, I want to thank the police, the immigration, the health workers, the nurses, the doctors, everybody on the front line. But we all have to be vigilant.
The Prime Minister said the formal mechanism in place to manage COVID-19 has been working, and he is determined to balance lives and livelihoods.
Which is what my speech was about from the very beginning. And when we were the outliers, so to speak, you know, we were outside of the box. And remember, I was being introduced. And as always, they didn't look at it in the logic of the matter itself. They didn't look at the substance of what I was saying. Ralph thinks he always knows more than anybody else. That's how it was personalized. But these things are not personal things. Forget about Ralph, man. Deal with the merits or the merits of the argument. And Grenada is making the sensible point now, saying, listen, this thing is going to be around with us for a while. We got to learn to live with it. And we have to balance lives and livelihoods. We ain't locking down.
National 9 morning activities at Heritage Square got into full swing from 4 a.m. today. This morning's package comprised of skits, dances, steel pan music, and other form of entertainment, including performances from budding artists and the Bowman Brothers. Here is a snippet of some of the performances.
And join we celebrating still Christmas on the hill. When we party hard.
Okay, 2 persons, all right? 2 persons. Let's go.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Rock ready, rocking each other. You know something? All heaven break loose.
And what have we done?
Well, guess who's in town? It ain't Santa. It's the rock ready man and Frank.
It's a time to share. What we want? Rum, ham, plenty barrel. Fun, ham, plenty sorrel.
Dusty. Anything she have, I will take. Bread and ham, they police too. Everything getting well clean.
And the 9 nights of lights at the Botanical Gardens opened to the public last evening with a simple ceremony. Almost 8 acres of the gardens were lit and will remain open every evening to entertain the public with different activities for the remaining 8 nights. We get more on the opening night's activities from Larissa Pugsley Kidd.
The Botanical Gardens has been transformed into a sea of lights, starting from the entrance to the back of the gardens, but leaving enough space for visitors. Themed A Botanical Garden Christmas, Director of the National Parks, Rivers and Beaches Authority, Andrew Wilson, said they made certain there was an expansion of the lights this year.
We have expanded to new areas that were previously never lit, and also added new creative design elements, complemented with a nicely packaged cultural program in keeping with the observance of Christmas.
Wilson said, like all other events and activities being held across SVG, they also have to follow health protocols to ensure the safety of all who attend the events. Chairman of the 9 Mornings Committee, Orandi Bumani Charles, said the 9 Nights of Lights has now become one of the main attractions on the 9 Mornings calendar of activities.
Particular festival forms part of the larger Vincentian Christmas Festival. 9 mornings, 9 nights are increasing our cultural presence in the Caribbean, and we're inching closer to becoming the Christmas capital of the world.
At the launch last night, there were groups of people taking in the view and enjoying the entertainment put on by the RSVG Police Force Band and other groups. The events are geared at families, ensuring that they enjoy quality time in the evening, as some may not be able to make it to the early morning activities across the country. Chairman of the National Parks, Rivers and Beaches Authority, Gideon Nash, encouraged everyone to participate in the activities.
I expect all of us who are here and those who will send those images throughout the world and to the diaspora, I expect the interest and the excitement to be heightened. And so after tonight, I imagine there will be extended parking. There will be more need for us to have respect for the COVID-19 protocols.
Christmas in the Gardens will feature violinist Samuel Toka. Tomorrow, Thursday, will be Pan Night featuring the YOLO Pan movement. On December 18th, the Upstage Christmas experience will be held. December 19th will be Fashion Night. On the 20th, it will be Gospel Night. The 21st will be Movie Night, and December 22nd will be Christmas Workout with DJ Entertainment. The activities close on December 23rd. For SVG-TV News, Larissa Pogsley-Kidd.
And with an array of lights of many colors and shapes, the Richland Park 9 Mornings Committee last evening launched their 2020 9 Morning activities aimed at bringing some joy despite the COVID-19 pandemic. The launch program included Christmas carols from the 9 Mornings Committee, speeches, and the turning on of Christmas lights ahead of other entertainment activities.
Swing, are you listening? In the sun is shining. It's a beautiful sight. We're happy tonight. Walking in St. Vincent Riverside.
Do me a favor. Go by the river. Get go some Carilla. Watch. Darling, I tell you, neighbor daughter. She could come over. She is a doctor.
Baby, I wanna say that here from the longest time, baby.
Let me see how goes up. Let me see how goes up.
I can shoot the man. You said you don't to see. If you am knocking.
Area Representative Sinclair Jimmy Prince, who was present at the opening, said that in other parts of the Caribbean, this type of gathering is illegal due to the COVID-19 pandemic. He, however, thanked God that St. Vincent and the Grenadines has so far not had that problem.
To thank God that we in St. Vincent and the Grenadines don't have that problem. We can gather like this and have 9 mornings because we have a well-managed COVID situation here in this country. So enjoy the festivities, the activities. Please remember the reason for the season and that you will be more good neighborly for this particular season, even though we we are under the threat of COVID. So keep that in mind also, that there is a situation, a pandemic ravaging the world. So while you enjoy yourselves, please keep in mind that you have to be also responsible.
Prince said the Richland Park 9 Mornings program is among those that encourages persons not to forget the reason for Christmas.
I know that the Richland Park 9 Mornings is easily the best community 9 mornings we have in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It was proven last year. We enjoyed ourselves last year. I think there were people who came from all over St. Vincent, mainland St. Vincent, even the Grenadines, to enjoy Richland Park 9 mornings. I'd like to congratulate the committee for a job well done. I'm sure you'll be willing to put your hands together for them, because they are operating at a time when volunteerism is waning in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Persons from Stubs and surrounding communities turned out last night to witness the lighting up and opening of the Stubs 2020 9 morning activities. Speaking at the launch, Area Representative Frederick Stevenson reminded patrons about the importance of adhering to the COVID-19 protocols.
Despite the COVID pandemic, despite the issues in relation to dengue fever and other viruses that are affecting us, we can still congregate as a community and participate in activities as part of 9 mornings activities here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I want to encourage all of you who would be taking part in the activities for 9 mornings here in Stubs, please adhere to the protocols put on by the Ministry of Health and the Environment.
Stevenson complimented the Stubs 9 Mornings Committee for enabling the community to come out on top in the National 9 Mornings Lighting Competition.
I want to compliment again, as I've done over the last 10 years, SVG and the organization who have enabled Stubs to be the top in 9 mornings activities in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And this year, again, it is my hope that this organization and the activities that we have here would ensure that SVG and the Stubs 9 mornings activities come out on top of the activities for 9 mornings in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Following the remarks, there was an entertainment package that included pans, music, dance, songs, skits, and games.
It's 9 morning. All your wake up. It's Christmas time, so shake up. And the neighbor have the wake up. It's Christmas again. It's Christmas again.
When you check out all over America, people are dying as they have never done before. And you're going to improve the quality of life for those who can't get insurance from their jobs. We're also going to subsidize medication for the elderly to treat their chronic illnesses.
The lighting up at Jimmy Samuel's home at Richland Hill is something to look forward to this year. The lights were turned on last evening. Every year Samuel has a new theme, and this year it is amidst COVID, Christmas is King, which he explained highlights everything people need to know about COVID-19. We hear more in this report.
Thousands of lights in various shapes and forms were lit by 80-year-old Jimmy Samuel at his residence last night in Richland. It took 5 weeks of preparation. Last year, Samuel was abroad for medical purposes, and so no lighting was done at his residence. But this year, he gave it his all with the biggest investment in lighting so far. He anticipates a huge light bill, but concludes that it is being done for the sake of the people in the community.
The people like it, and I try to make them happy. Not me. I'd be happy too when I see them among the people, but I try to make the people happy.
Samuel said there are still more lights to go up. This year, a section of the home depicted everything relating to COVID-19. An interesting aspect is the information center that showcases the airport, testing with doctors and nurses on site, and Santa Claus in quarantine taking a nap. Samuel, who is still not in full health, said he would like the yearly Christmas light-up to be continued and is not sure if this year may be his last year.
Hope to pack it up. The guy that working with me every day. See, anytime I finish, that's it, because he got too much work and too much stress in it.
Samuel welcomes everyone to his residence and allows them to have a tour to enjoy the ambience and the beauty of the lights. Samuel has won the Best Lit Private House on several occasions, and this is his 24th year of lighting. The lights are usually taken down in January of the following year. For SVG-TV News, Larissa Fox, the Kid.
There is the possibility that there will be a commission of inquiry into the recent prison break, so said Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, who has responsibility for national security. Speaking during his weekly appearance on NBC Radio's face-to-face program today, Dr. Gonsalves said upon being informed about the prison break by the then superintendent of prisons, he went to the prison facility in Kingstown, where he spent about 2.5 hours speaking to the officials, staff, and prisoners. He said during that time he came to some preliminary conclusions. He noted that a commission of inquiry will, however, be dependent on a number of things, including an investigation being carried out by the police. The Prime Minister used the opportunity to thank the outgoing Superintendent of Prisons, Brenton Charles, for his years of public service, noting that he wisely applied for early retirement, a request which he had his full support and which the Public Service Commission accepted.
Being the superintendent of prisons is not an easy job. That is why you're well paid. And we can't reasonably expect that the systems are such that a person should be a person who is in for the kinds of crimes that he's in for, albeit he's awaiting trial. The allegations are so serious that we ought not to have had one, much less 2 escapes.
The operations at Majesty's prisons are now being spearheaded by Police Superintendent Timothy Hazelwood, who has taken over as Superintendent of Prisons. He is assisted by Inspector Dwayne Bailey. The Prime Minister said there will be other changes in the prison system, which he will announce in time. Psychologist Dr. Joselle Miller is cautioning persons to be mindful and careful of what is posted on social media, as it could have far-reaching impacts on an individual depending on the nature and context of the content. Yesterday, a recording of a child being questioned about an alleged sexual incident was making the rounds on social media, causing some persons to speak out about it. Dr. Miller said nothing is wrong with the recording, but noted that what it was used for is of concern.
Anybody was relaying something that possibly happened. The recording is not necessarily the issue, because sometimes you record it so that you can have something to go back on or to go back to, so that even during undue stress, you have persons who tend to forget a lot of basic details. So by recording it in the initial instance, it helps in terms of preserving what was said initially. The issue, however, is what was done with that recording. So if you have a recording that, as a mother or a teacher or whomever, that you have a recording and you're saying that this is to document what was said so that I have proof to say to a police or a lawyer or whomever else that XYZ was said to me, then fine. Allowing that to take another route in terms of going viral on social media, then that brought in a lot of different variables.
Dr. Miller said that different parties would have experienced emotional and psychological effects in their response to the information that was shared in the video that could cause more damage.
So whilst you're doing something good, it could also have a bad effect. So we have to be very careful now in a very small society like St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where everybody knows everybody. We have had issues and cases of bullying for things less sensitive. And as a child who is now being placed in a position where the child's identity has gone viral, you have to now be mindful that even going forward, that persons can be even more callous and insensitive in things that they say to the child as the child grows up. Also, the family has now become a target in terms of looking now at different members of the family, and everybody has to carry this. So it is going to have a long-lasting effect, and how it is managed going forward will determine how well the child grows up to be confident within herself, or whether or not she's going to have long-term emotional challenges and all of that. It is left to be seen.
The psychologist said it is understandable that a mother's concern having to deal with such an issue could be irrational, but there are steps that should be taken, especially in dealing with such a sensitive matter.
If any parent has an idea, an inclination that their child may have been molested, first thing, take the child for a medical investigation, a medical assessment. You want to make sure that your assumptions or what you're thinking can be proven medically. If you have that evidence to prove that something did happen, if it is showing that your child would have been touched, molested, whatever, then the next step is to take it to the police and the relevant government offices that deals with child protection and such like.